prior to joining this House, I was an aid worker for a decade with Oxfam. I have seen firsthand the horror of war and its brutal impact on civilian populations. I've met 10-year-old former child soldiers with memories that no child should have to live with. I've sat down with Afghan elders with battle-weary eyes. I've held the hands of Darfuri women gang-raped because nobody was there to protect them.
But she was there in Darfur in 2006 while David Cameron went to visit. In the words of her husband, Jo Cox believed in a better world and she fought for it every day, most recently on Syria.
Every decade or so, the world is tested with a crisis so grave that it breaks the mould, one so horrific and so inhumane that the response of politicians to it becomes emblematic of their generation, their moral leadership or cowardice, their resolution or incompetence. It's how history judges us.
While the agony in Aleppo and across Syria went on and became an almost unfashionable cause in Parliament, Jo Cox went beyond the policy of both the government and her own party leadership. She wanted safe havens, making the protection of civilians paramount.
On Friday, desperate doctors in Aleppo appealed for international help to stave off further massacres and the potential besiegement of that city, fearing a repeat of the horrors of Srebrenica. I have raised repeatedly in this place the need for a no-bombing zone. Will he look again at this now?
Nigel, you're a fraud.
Disgusting. Rich people laughing at poor people.
The rising temperature of the referendum campaign was not something Jo Cox shied away from, tweeting this photo of her family among those on the Thames this week. From her maiden speech in the House, there was no doubt where she stood.
Many businesses in Yorkshire also want the security and stability of Britain's continued membership of the European Union, a cause I look forward to passionately championing in this place and elsewhere.
Yesterday, this poster, apparently about immigration, unveiled by Nigel Farage, was reported to the police by the leader of the Unison trade union, who claimed it incited racial hatred. This shocked pause in British politics is certainly a chance to reset both sides. Also, perhaps a time to wonder why we don't value politicians as much in life as we seem to in death. Less clear is whether the unfashionable causes Jo Cox championed will be taken up by others. Or will there just be one less voice like this?
I believe that Syria is our generation's test. Will we step up and play our part in stopping the abject horror of the Syrian civil war and the spread of the modern-day fascism of ISIS? Or will we step to one side, say it's too complicated, and leave Iran, Russia, Assad, ISIS to turn that country into a graveyard?